people say to me all the time, well, why are you here? You know, you have information stuff. Is that what you do? Is that how that works? Is that how you make your money? Well, this isn't a charity event, all right? But what my mission statement is and what my passion is commercial real estate, getting these deals done. And that's why I educate good folks, and the handful of good folks that actually get off their butt and do it are the ones that I'm moving forward with and getting deals done. And I'm very, very excited to have all you guys here because I know we can get one deal done. Can we get one deal done?
Yes.
Of course we can. There's no reason why if I can do it, you guys can't do it. And I'm here with you. You got to do it. You have to do it. You're absolutely right. You know why you have to do it? Because the thing about it is, guys, if you don't do it, somebody else is going to get the deal. Somebody else is going to get it. So get your piece. It's here for you. Your marketing is going to be targeted to sellers. The world of marketing and commercial properties, most of your time is going to be spent approaching people who advertise and make it known to the world that they have property for sale. Remember I said before, most of these folks are going to be advertising at retail. But the last deal that I just talked to you guys about, there wasn't even seller financing offered on it, but yet we knew it was an inheritance property and they were offering a deep discount. So what does that tell you? Super motivated. Well, why wouldn't they do seller financing? Of course they would. Of course they would. Some will let it be known that they're desperate to sell, especially now. The word desperate is all over the internet. I'm going to share with you guys some tools on how you can pull up these distressed properties like this, and it'll say distress, it'll say desperate, motivated, divorce, all kinds of stuff. Some are going to offer incredible terms, really good, solid terms, where we won't even have to tweak them much to make the deal happen. That's the dynamics of people being super motivated. All right? Some will even know the value of their property and still sell it to us for a deep discount. So I know what some of you are thinking at this point. Oh, geez. How do you find that deal? Guys, relationships. Sometimes the best deals for sale are the ones that are not for sale. Yeah. What I mean by that is pocket listings. A pocket listing is something that's not advertised on the open marketplace for sale. Well, what happens, brokers in the room, if you want to reply to this, I'd appreciate it. What happens if somebody calls you and says, send me what a good deal looks like. Send me a good deal. I want to get a good deal done. What do you think? Time waster, right? Absolutely, time waster. Well, if you have something called an acquisition criteria that details each and every single way that you can move forward on a property and spells out exactly what we're looking to do to get the deal done, chances are you get instant credibility, correct? And you back that up with a few other key factors we're going to talk about over the next couple days. These deals, they come through the pipeline, and all of a sudden, the deals that are sent over, when you have somebody who's motivated and they own multiple properties, do you think that they want to get rid of the good stuff first or the bad stuff first? The bad stuff. So right now, we're currently working on another deal. It's in a state here in the United States of America, and we're going to be talking about that deal. And I just might call the broker in the next couple of days and talk with him and ask him. I've yet to ask him what else he's got. What else he's got that fits my criteria. You see, because the way that we just got through structuring that deal, I'm going to talk about in depth because it's phenomenal. The woman, she's a doctor. She owns a property. She's out of state. She had management that was doing her wrong. And at the end of the day, this property's got close to a $2 million price tag on it. She's going to continue to do all of her debt service off of the income that's coming through the property because the property is currently operating in the black, meaning that it is covering its debt service, okay? Just doesn't have positive cash flow. Well, that's okay. We'll fix that problem because there's vacancy issue. We're going to move in, and it's an apartment. We've already got the contract, Ron, 2 days ago? Yep, we already got the contract signed or just sent for review? Just sent for review. But executed LOI, and the terms on this thing are phenomenal. And Ron, you were on the call for the negotiation. Did you like that call? Yep. I basically went in there and said, the only way that I can make this thing happen is put down a little bit of money. And she said she needed $100,000. Put down $100,000. That's driven from OPM, other people's money. She's willing to go ahead and do a joint venture partnership, no banks involved. I give her 10% on the back end. She's going to let me take the property off her hands for 36 months for $100,000. couple $1 million property. At the end of the day, Ron, you have all the numbers. We'll talk about it later. But this opportunity, any one of you could have done this deal. And I know that this broker has got other properties that fit the criteria. You know why I know he does? Because when I was speaking with him, he understood everything that I said. And he said to me, I'll go ahead and draft the purchase and sale agreement and send it over, and the joint venture partnership agreement. And I got on the phone with the seller and I told her, I said, look, this is the only way that this deal can happen. You'll be passive, meaning that you won't be sharing in the cash flow. You're going to get 10% of the equity. When we go ahead and fill this thing, have it seasoned, it's cash flowing. We do a cash out refi, and we'll either go ahead and move forward and acquire new financing or just buy you out, however it works. We're going to go ahead and move forward in that regard, and then you get 10% of the new value because you got a 10% play. She kept 10%. She's passive. I'm the man. We're going to be the managing members. We have control of the whole property. Couple $1 million property, $100,000. So under that dynamic, I want you guys to get it that anybody could do this. Anybody could have done that deal. Anybody could. Super motivated. All types of people own commercial property, from mechanics to doctors to dentists to lawyers to everyday people, from people that are farmers. All these different types of people own properties. We never look down on our audience. We never look down on anybody. We always see eye to eye. It's a part of negotiation. You go ahead and just mold yourself to what their makeup is, and we go ahead and just get the deals done. And we're going to be talking more about that. But they will get out there and offer property at deep, deep discounts. A buddy of mine I've known for a long time, he was dealing with some property out in Texas. And a broker came to him and said, you got to check this property out. You got to check it out. And he said, okay, what type of property is it? And he says, it's land. And we could go ahead and get this thing rezoned and make a lot of money. And he said, I'm not interested, man. He goes, I'm a residential investor. He has horse blinders on him. Residential investor, that's all I do. And he said, no, you got to check this property out. You can make a lot of money with it. The broker's saying to this guy. Well, this guy was the go-to guy for residential. So that's why, because he saw that not lip service, but performance. He was performing on residential, owned a nice portfolio of residential property around that area. And the broker knew that they were getting ready to break ground, that's what it's called, and do some development right next to this other large tract that this elder gentleman was looking to sell, and he was a pigeon coop farmer. All right? And the broker came back to my friend again and said, look, we can make this thing happen. And he said, no, I don't want to do it. It took 3 times until he finally came back, and then he said, fine, I'll take a look and see what it is. Then he said, well, what's happening? The dynamics of this opportunity, the seller said that the property as its current value is worth X. And after you do this to it, it'll be worth X. And he said, well, how long does it take to do what we need to do? And he goes, like a couple months. And he said, okay, well, we can take a look at it. And it took a little bit of money to put down on the deal, which he put it down, I believe it was a couple $100,000. And the dynamics of this deal, the seller sat down with him and looked at the plat map and said, this little piece, if you carve this little piece off right here, it'll pay for the whole entire property. He goes, I don't want to deal with any other brokers. The broker was a friend of the family for this guy. And everybody was approaching this guy nonstop, banging down his door to try to sell his property. The reason why is because right next door, the Hunt family was breaking ground to put a stadium, a soccer stadium. So if you guys know outside of Frisco, Texas, this is where the property is, what I'm talking about. And that property, at the end of the day, this guy's net worth went up over $50 million from that property. From one property, one deal. One deal. Because he had a relationship. Now my question is, why didn't the broker do it? Broker, he was happy making his commission, you know.